I found my husband's profile on a forum where he left nasty comments about me. Today, I gave him the divorce papers. I had drafted the terms for living separately 6 months ago. After, during a heated argument, he said, "We don't have kids. Be glad you only have to clean up after me." That sentence kept replaying in my head. Be glad that I'm cleaning up after a grown man who is 10 years older than me? The next day, he apologized, explained in detail why he said something so cruel, insisting he didn't mean it. But maybe it's just my nature, because I don't think words said in those moments are just hurtful. There's always a bit of truth in them. And then a few days ago, I found his forum account. I accidentally saw his username when he showed me a screenshot. I tried, not very hard, not to remember it, and only 2 days later, I decided to check. In his comments were complaints about me, and even entire posts about me. In one of them, people tore him apart and called him a piece of... Reading that, I realized how foolish I had been to think love could fix everything. I was 20 when we met, and he was 35. I thought people exaggerated when they mentioned our age gap. After all, my single father who raised me didn't see it as an issue. But later I understood he had been the same damn creep, as if my father had conditioned me beforehand to tolerate certain behavior, so it would be easier for other men later. I'm drifting off topic, but one day I came home early after a hard work day and found out my boss had been killed by her husband. I walked into my home and saw my lazy, dirty man. I told him what had happened and started crying. He didn't comfort me. He said, "We don't know why he did it. Let's wish them both luck and keep living." Wish? Luck? To a dead woman? I tried to convince myself he just didn't fully understand. That calmed me for an hour. While I was making dinner, he started complaining that it was already 18:45. I said I didn't understand how he could be hungry when he had just eaten half a bag of chips he left on the table. And instead of A, helping me finish dinner, B, apologizing and waiting patiently, C, finishing the chips, or D, laughing it off, he threw the bag of chips at me. 7 years together, 4 of them married, and he had never done anything this blatantly disrespectful, because even with my low self-esteem, this wouldn't have flown. Chips scattered all over the floor I had just cleaned. Whatever look I gave him was enough for him to pick up the broom after 30 seconds, but not enough for him to check if he actually cleaned everything or to vacuum afterward. When I finished cooking and brought our plates to the table, I thought, holy crap, I really spoil him. All these years, I've always served him food and brought it straight to him. No one has ever done that for me. And then I stepped on a chip. It didn't hurt me or anything, but I screamed. I don't know why. I just couldn't take it anymore. I ran to the office, came back with the papers and a pen. I put them in front of his plate and walked out while he yelled my name. Now I'm sitting in my car, eating a burger with fries, realizing I'll have to start over. My life is over, and so is my love for him. I hope I won't give up. I hope I won't let him convince me otherwise. I hope that if I start doubting, I'll reread this post and understand that this isn't a decision made in a fit of emotion. It's what I have to do if I ever want any kind of normal life. Sometimes I think that he'd never hit me, but during arguments, he sometimes makes that weird movement as if he's about to lunge and clenches his fists. I just couldn't believe he had zero sympathy for a woman who was killed by the man she trusted and built a life with. I saw her on Monday and never would have imagined this could happen. I posted that original message just to finally leave for good. I'm sorry if it's messy and unclear. But this isn't the first time I've left him. It's the 4th, but now it's final. That's it. I'm done. I've been saving money since I left the first time, 2 years ago. I'm no longer trapped. When I left the second time, I realized that being a housewife gives me no power in a relationship, so I got a job. At first, it was just to even the odds and prove I could earn money too. Now, it's my lifeline. Half of our relationship was built on lies. He first said he was 8 years older, then 10, and then the truth came out, all 15, and I kept trying to forget it. Because according to my father, the only person I ever talked to about this, people deserve forgiveness. And I just want to know what peace in my own home feels like. I moved from my father's house straight into my boyfriend's, who soon became my husband. I can calmly admit that my life and my marriage turned out this way partly because of me. Yes, my father shaped a lot in me and started this cycle, but I've been an adult for a long time. I could have ended it. The fact that my husband and my father are the only two men I've ever had any sort of relationship with at 27, that's on me. Since childhood, I'd been taught, when men are around, don't look them in the eyes, keep your head down. And I did, because a good girl obeys. That's what they taught, and I didn't know anything else. How did the wave of feminism pass me by? How did I let my father push away all my friends? How did I let both of them isolate me from the world? 2 years ago, a woman around my age asked me for a tampon in a restroom. I gave her one, and we talked for 5 minutes. Just a normal girl talk. And I kept replaying that scene in my head until I realized how insane it was. All she did was ask what my favorite coffee was, tell me I was pretty, and say she liked my handmade earrings. I had a spare pair in my car. I gave them to her, and she hugged me. That's it, but I held on to those 5 minutes because it was the last time a conversation didn't leave me feeling empty. I should have left for good when he said grad school was for men. I should have left when I got into woodworking and simple robotics, and he said I must be transgender, and that he couldn't feel attraction to a woman who wants to be a man. I just love the smell of freshly cut wood and creating things. I should have left when I got into the best university in the state, and he claimed women would be happier if they stopped trying to compete with men. I should have left when my father died, and he said I wasn't upset enough over the man who choked me for burnt food when I was 11. Our relationship got worse after the wedding, when I told him what I had lived through with my father. When he said awful things about women, later I'd see YouTube videos in his history about relearning not to be sexist. Watched all the way through. And I thought, well, at least something, more than my father ever did. At least he doesn't hit me. At least he brings me flowers and takes me on dates. I was told men are just like this, that you should respect them, that a husband deserves complete trust. And I believed it. I still don't know if he did all that just for show, or if he really tried a little. But I was wrong not to leave 100 times earlier, and I won't make that mistake again. After I left, he called and texted nonstop. I went back to the house, his house, to pack my things, put on my headphones, and he suddenly rushed out, ripped them off my head, and broke them. My AirPods Max that I had just bought. I just kept packing and ignored everything he said until I realized my passport was missing. He won't admit it, but I'm 100% sure he took it. He refused to sign the papers. We argued a bit, and I finally said it out loud. I don't love you anymore. I can't love someone like you. I am 27. I am a grown woman, and I don't want to be with you. He replied, you won't survive without me. I'm the only man who ever loved you. You are nothing without me. I'm the provider. This is my home. You have no money, no family, no friends. And he was only right about the last two. I told him, we don't have a prenup, and if he tries to fight the divorce, I'll get half of everything. But if he signs the documents I brought, then according to them, he keeps the house and all the furniture, 3 out of 4 cars, and 80% of our savings and investments. I'll be able to leave and start over. I want to leave and start over. He, on the other hand, should probably think about a retirement plan that doesn't depend on young women. He gets more than he deserves. But I don't want to be surrounded by things reminding me of him. When he saw that yelling and threats didn't work, he tried tears. And I almost gave in. But then I remembered that standing in front of me was a 42-year-old man on his knees, crying over a 27-year-old woman who simply wanted to be loved, respected, and treated with dignity. I gave him almost 10 years of my life, years filled with loyalty and love. When he exploded in anger, I responded with love. But I don't have any love left. I rented an Airbnb place out of state, so he has no sway there, and my job still allows remote work for now. And I'm already starting to see a life worth living. There's a mountain of legal stuff and stress ahead, but it's still less painful than the love I had for him. Thank you all so much for your kind words. Today I cried and felt more support than in my entire life. Now, please write in the comments what you think about this story. I'll be very interested in reading your comments. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. This motivates me to make better videos.